October is recognized as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. While the recognition is during the month, the focus on awareness is year-round. That's the work of the Department of Justice's Victims Services Unit.
So October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and it's a month where we celebrate survivors of domestic violence. We honor those who have died, and of course we show our commitment to always fighting the good fight against domestic violence.
Domestic Violence Awareness Month was first observed in 1981 as the National Day of Unity. It was established by the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence to ensure that victims know help is available if they need it.
Many of us know homes that are filled with love and care, homes that are kind and loving and supportive. So there is the other side of that coin where domestic violence is prevalent in that home.
We often hear about domestic violence, but it encompasses so many different things. The obvious, physical and verbal abuse, but it can also be psychological and sexual.
It affects everybody. It affects the families, it affects the children, it even affects the workplace, because one of the primary reasons for people missing work is domestic violence, that they've had some problems at home. And of course they don't call in and say that I've been beaten or abused. They just simply call and say, they just call out for work.
Not only is it important to raise awareness, educate, and learn how to safely intervene, knowing how to help someone and how to report can help our community be safer.
And it's something that if we can support the families, we can provide opportunities, provide services, both legal and healthcare services. We as a community have to address this issue because it really is it is something that affects the quality of all of our lives.
In the Attorney General's office, under the leadership of the Honorable Denise Counts, we are the ones who are tasked with making sure that when we have special victims in our cases as the prosecuting agency for the government, we support victims of domestic violence and victims generally in the cases that are prosecuted. We know how important it is for victims to feel safe, to have someone who will listen to them and someone who will assist them in fighting for their truth. And so when we get domestic violence victims, we don't see them as victims. We see them as survivors who we are just helping to tell their story and to speak their truth. And so on a day-to-day basis, we assist them by going to court with them when the case finally comes to trial. But even before that, we provide services, we do referrals, we meet with them as often as they would like, and when the attorney who is assigned to the case wants to start case preparation for court, we are in all of those meetings just assisting them and supporting them, because it can be a very emotionally traumatic, re-traumatizing experience to go back through.
Keeping in mind, awareness plus action equals social change. On Wednesday, many Department of Justice employees joined the Women's Coalition and the Family Resource Center to show their support by wearing the color purple.
We have celebrated the day with Purple Day, and it's to show our commitment and to confirm that we are doing all we can.
Wear Purple Day was dedicated to raise awareness and call attention to this public health issue, whether it was a blouse, dress, shirt, tie, or skirt. It was a day for people to show their commitment to promoting healthy relationships.
By wearing the purple, it just brings some attention to this issue, and definitely we here at the Department of Justice, not just prosecuting the people who perpetrate the crimes, but also to support our co-workers and the people in the community that need assistance from the agency to get beyond that violence in their life.
Women are not chattel property. They are not beasts of burdens to carry men's problems. They should be respected, loved, and adored.
And why purple? The color is meant to be a symbol of peace, courage, survival, honor, and dedication to ending violence.
The Department of Justice has a no-drop policy when it comes to domestic violence. So although a lot of our victims tend to write letters asking for cases to be dismissed, it is not their call to have cases dismissed, especially when there is some type of injury to the victim. What we tend to do, and we always stress counseling, because we know what domestic violence is about. It's about power and control. So having the case dismissed does not solve the problem. Of course, we want the perpetrators to get the necessary therapy that they need, whether it's anger management or any other type of counseling that they need. Sometimes it's drug related, sometimes it's other things that are the issues. So we always encourage our victims not to have the cases dismissed, but to encourage their loved ones to get the necessary help.
As victim advocates with the Department of Justice, we cannot do the work that we do alone. We depend heavily on the Virgin Islands Police Department, on the victim advocate there, but also every day we have a very intimate relationship with the Family Resource Center. FRC is our partner. Every day we call for referrals. We refer our victims to them for counseling and support. And we also work with other government agencies, Department of Human Services and others that are responding agencies. So we know that Purple Day is not possible without giving tangible support to the work that the domestic violence agencies in the territory do, particularly Family Resource Center and the Domestic Violence Council on St. Croix.